Hey guys, it's Marshall Tingle with your Superior Ag Insurance Ringside report for this past week, the week of April 16th through the 22nd. So again, we've had another outstanding week in the cattle world. Prices continue to climb, both on your feeder cattle and your yearling cattle, but we did see a little bit less of a run this past week as compared to what we have been seeing. So statewide, we sold 18,230 head of cattle. That's back about 3,000 from what we have been seeing. But again, 18,000 for the backside of April is still nothing to shake a stick at. Now, what are these little cattle doing? They're continuing to climb. Steer cattle, steers and heifers, feeder steers and heifers, we're going to call them steady to $4 higher, some exceptions of $8 to $10 higher. That's both on steers and heifers. These highs on these cattle continue to climb, and actually you're seeing a little bit of a jump in your average, which is a really good sign. Now, your yearling cattle this week, we're going to call them $6 to $10 higher across the board. Great buyer activity, but what I will tell you before we go any further is, as the week progressed, your price has degressed just a little bit, but we saw the same thing on your CME feeder cattle index. So that's just, it's not just affecting us here in the state of Kentucky, it's affecting us nationwide on that. So what are your little 4-weight cattle worth? 4-weight steer cattle, $240 to $250. They topped off at $281, which we keep getting closer and closer to that $3 mark as the days go by. And that's really exciting as we move forward. Now, what's your 5-weight steer cattle worth this week? We'll call them on average about $240. Their high on those were $267. Remember last week your high on a 5-weight was $263. So we are seeing an increase on the highs. Now, let's talk about these yearlings. We did see more yearlings come to town this week. Not as much as we did, as we have been or we would like to see, but you're seeing more of them come. Now, you're seeing a whole lot more 5s, 6s, and even some 7s than what we're used to seeing on the 8-weights. And I think this right now is just because this market's jumping so high. The price of these 7-weights, it's really not paying to hold them that much. So let's talk about this real fast. So start off here. I'm going to start with some heavy 7s. Not quite 8s, but not too far from them. And I want to do a black to a mixed comparison just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So here's 65 head of mixed steers. They're going to be 780 pounds on the average, so right underneath 8, 203.90. That's a really strong price, but compare that to these others. Now, here's 77 head of steers. These are blacks with just a sprinkling of Charolais cross in them, 759 pounds on the average, so just a hair lighter, about 30 pounds lighter, 20 to 30 pounds lighter, 210 flat. Now that's a huge price on an 8-weight steer. Now here's 60 head. These are going to be blacks and Charolais crosses. Here's another set of them. These are 827s. This is going to be a little bit different time period in the week just to give you comparison to $1.96. So still not bad, but if you compare that to 210, that's a pretty good sized jump. But here's a big string of them. Here's 122 head of steers. These are all black steers, 859 pounds on the average. All blacks, $2 flat. Now we're talking back of what we have been seeing. And then close off, here's a big set of heavies. Here's 56 head of black steers, 892 pounds on the average, so flirting right there with the 9-weight steer, $1.97. So not too bad. But as you can tell, that's a really good spread from $1.96 to all the way up to, say, $2.03 as an average. That 210 would be a really good outlier, but a strong market nonetheless. Now let's talk about what your CME feeder cattle index did. So if you'll remember, last week your CME feeder cattle index jumped pretty strong, pretty high on the backside of the week. This week's going to be the opposite. We're going to jump really hard and start off really, really strong, but by the time Wednesday come around, you start to see a decrease on that. So Monday the 17th, your CME feeder cattle index was 206.37. By the time Tuesday the 18th came around, 206.23. Then here's where we saw our big jump our big drop was on Wednesday. Wednesday the 19th, 203.91. By the time Thursday came around, Thursday the 20th, 203.10. And then to close off the week, the 21st on Friday, 201.24. So that's what we're kind of seeing. Now, what's it going to do? I don't know. Keep an eye on it. But you did see just a little bit of a decrease there towards the backside of the week on your CME feeder cattle index, as well as your cash trade here in the state of Kentucky. Now, if you have any questions on this, if you're interested in an LRP policy, there's no better time than right now to invest in one of those. Call the guys. Call Ian Thomas. It's Ian Thomas, 859-613-2453, or call Adam Shoemaker at 859-338-4116. Call the guys. They'll be sure to help you out any way that they can at Superior Ag Insurance. Check us out on the web, www.superioragins.com. As always, thank you so much. Look forward to talking to you soon.